Welcome to Bryer's Music Showcase. I'm Bryer and welcome back to another video. And here we have episode 6 of my CD collection series. So we are over halfway done. I'm seeing about maybe 3 more episodes after this one. So we're getting there. It's been a long journey, but hopefully this has been entertaining for some of you. So for this one, we've gone down a level. So again, it's weird, but we're going to start here, go down, then we come here, then we go across, and then we start up here and down. We come up, we go down, down, down. So this should be a little bit shorter than the last episode. We'll see how it goes. Again, this all depends how much I talk about each one. Alright, so let's get started right now. So, of course, we got to move Thomas out of the way. Sorry about that. Hopefully you can still kind of see him. No, not really. Okay, anyhow. Let's go ahead, starting here. First up, we have Juice Newton with her Greatest Hits album. Kind of like this one. And supposedly she lives in San Diego, same as me. I have not encountered her in the wild yet, but that would be kind of wild if I encounter her. I highly doubt it though. Alright, next. We have My Only Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds album. This is Boatsman's Call. Very solid stuff. Here's some Stevie Nicks. Here is Belladonna, her first album. And this one is called The Other Side of the Mirror, which I haven't heard in a long time. I liked it. We'll see. Let me know your thoughts on this album if you've heard it already. Then we have some Nightwish, really great symphonic metal. Here's this one. It's called Oceanborn. Then we have Century Child. And here's the first Nightwish album I ever got, and that one is called Once. Okay, we have Harry Nilsson. This one's called Nilsson Schmilsson. Of course, has the big hit on it, which is Without You, which is their Badfingers cover. I feel like I should censor this one, but then again, I've seen this cover on YouTube many times without being censored, but I don't want to risk it. So here's Nirvana, and we have, of course, Nevermind. Of course, huge in the 90s. That's my only Nirvana album I have right now. Hopefully we'll get the other 2 at some point. Alright, after that, we have the Northern Pikes with Big Blue Sky. Now this is a Canadian band, kind of more of a pop rock sort of sound, and pretty good. I liked it. Okay, we'll put these away in a bit. Now let's go ahead. Let's go across this way. Next up, we have Ted Nugent. My only Ted Nugent I have as of right now. We have Free for All. Very much enjoy this album, really good, and Meatloaf is featured on this album and he sounds fantastic. And this is like the year before Bat Out of Hell, so pretty cool. Alright, next up we have Mike Oldfield. This one's Tubular Bells, which is considered a classic in the progressive rock community. I thought it was okay. Okay, next up, we have some Opeth. Now, I mainly have their more death metal sound. I only have one of their more typical progressive rock. Here's Still Life, which is a concept album. Very heavy. And what's good about Opeth, they always, especially early on, they always kind of combined the more growls, but every so often they'll throw in more clean vocals. And here's another one of their classics of their more death metal period. We have Blackwater Park. And then here's the more progressive rock band with all clean vocals. This one's called Sorceress. Okay, now we have some Ozzy Osbourne. Here, of course, Blizzard of Oz. Diary of a Madman. Bark at the Moon. The first one without, which Randy Rhoads. No More Tears. To many like die-hard Ozzy fans, this is kind of like his last really good album. Then I have Ordinary Man, which many people seem to trash. I kind of liked it. I don't really get the hate with it. Okay, now we have some Overkill, and this is the last of the O's. Here we have The Years of Decay. Then we have Horoscope. Great thrash metal. Right, now we're entering the P's. So first up, this one's kind of a weird one because I don't know, because I'm gonna start it out with Pink, which is kind of weird because you think it'll be P-I, so it'll be kind of more later down, but I don't know, because I don't know, it has an explanation points there, and when you if you put a Word document and you arrange it to when it's alphabetical order, usually this is first. So I'm like, screw it. Just do what it says. You can disagree if you want. I don't care. Anyhow, Dolly Parton, My Only One, Jolene, of course, has the classic title track and the original version of I Will Always Love You, which of course would be made even more famous with Whitney Houston in the 90s. Here's some Patti Smith. Here, of course, is Horses. And then we have Easter. Wait a minute. Oh wait, never mind. Oh yeah, so I see what I did. So I kind of combined the Patti Smith group in one thing, because sometimes it's separated, sometimes it's just Patti Smith, sometimes it's Patti Smith group. I'm like, let's just make it a whole group. So let's go to Pearl Jam, My Only One. Of course, this is their debut, which is 10. Alright, I'm pretty sure I've gotten flack for this in the past. So we have everyone's favorite. We have Katy Perry. Heck yeah, I do. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I like some Katy Perry. What? But yeah, this is a Teenage Dream, by the way. Of course, has Firework. I've always loved that song. And then the only one I have by her, the only other one I have, we have Prism. You kind of see it kind of has a little rainbow effect like a prism, which is kind of nice. And then back, kind of the same thing. But yeah, no shame. Alright, now let's get back to the more rock side. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Here is, of course, Damn the Torpedoes. Now, kind of a similar thing with Patti Smith, because there's Tom Petty solo and then there's Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. I just decided to combine everything to Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, just so it just is not so scattered, and so all the Tom Pettys are together. Can't remember if I ever showed this one, but here is Full Moon Fever, which is technically Tom's first solo album. But then he went back to the Heartbreakers with Into the Great Wide Open. Then here's another one of his solo albums. We have Wildflowers. Alright, here's a Pink Floyd CD. That's kind of separated because I do have a box set, but we'll cover that later. But here's the Vision Bell. Now the box set I have does come with the Vision Bell, but the problem with that one is that I got a used copy of the box set, and so for some reason the Vision Bell got the worst out of it, so I had to get. So luckily I found this at a thrift store, so it was pretty lucky. Hold on. Sometimes it's hard to get these out because I just cut my nails. Okay, a Gray's Hits, the Pointer Sisters. Some good songs in there. Then we get to the Police. Here, of course, is Outlandos de Amor. Then we have Regatta de Blanc. Then we have Zenyatta Mandata. Then we have Ghosts and Machines. I was going to say something, but I was like, doesn't actually matter. And of course, we have their final album, Synchronicity. Here's a couple Elvis. So here is his Blue Hawaii soundtrack. And here is the Gray's Hits, 30 #1 hits. I know there's an updated version where they included other songs, but especially because of the movie, but I just have the standard one. The Pretenders with their debut album. Some people say this is actually really good. I liked it. I don't know, this is another one where it hasn't fully clicked with me yet. Mainly because with Chrissie Hynde's vocals, sometimes it's good, but there's other times where it's kinda, I'm not sure if I like that or not. Alright, next we have some Prince. We have a couple Prince. Here we have Dirty Mind. $19.99. Of course, Purple Rain. Love this album. And the last Prince album I have is Love Sexy. Of course, the only downside with this CD is that it's basically all the songs are combined into one track, which is kind of, I kind of see where it's going, because I think Prince had it in mind that it's supposed to be like one whole piece. But I don't know, it's kind of annoying because if there's a song I want to hear by itself, I can't really do that here. So I'm gonna have to go streaming on that one. Alright, now we enter this whole section up here. So we have my Only Proclaimers album. We have Sunshine on Leith, which is probably the most popular album, has pretty well-known songs on it. Of course, has I'm Gonna Be 500 Miles, and so otherwise there's some more pretty great songs on here, like Cap in Hand, Then I Met You, the title track. It's a really good album. Alright, we're actually done with the P's already, and now we enter the Q's. But before we do that, so we gotta get this band out of the way. Alright, so this is my Queen collection. So, well, as of now, at least. Probably wondering, why is Queen not in the actual collection? Well, Queen is just so special to me that they deserve to be in their own category. So, but because we're going alphabetical, let's just do them now. So I'm gonna go through these quickly because I've talked about Queen quite a bit in my channel for the most part. I even have a playlist. But anyhow, of course, here's the debut, which just turned 50 not too long ago by the time I'm recording this. Queen 2. Love the cover, of course. Classic. Sheer Heart Attack. The classic itself, A Night at the Opera. Day at the Races, News of the World, Jazz, Game. Still think this is the worst cover. Fight me. We have the Flash Gordon soundtrack, because why not? Hot Space. Many people don't like this album. I actually kind of like it. The Works. Kind of Magic. The Miracle. Innuendo. Then we have Made in Heaven. Now here's a Freddie Mercury greatest hits. This is kind of like a greatest hits of his solo stuff, and this could have been in the M's, but again, I like to put all the Queen related stuff together. But this is what the greatest hits look like. It's called The Very Best of Freddie Mercury Solo, Lover of Life, Singer of Songs, which of course is said, that's the same phrase that's put on that's on his statue in, I forgot what it's called, Munich. Yeah, Munich. There we go. And then here is a greatest hits. We have greatest hits 1, 2, and 3, which actually has all three of the Queen greatest hits. Of course, it includes the first one, which is one of the most best-selling albums in England. Then we have the second one, and then we have the third. There's something on it. That's gross. All right. So now let's scooch this to the side. Actually, I'm going to put these back down. I'll fix them later because I still got to access these ones here. Okay, continuing on, we have Queensrÿche, which is another fantastic metal band. So here we have technically their first debut album. I know they released an EP, but I don't have that yet. Here is The Warning. Then we have Rage for Order. Then here we have the behemoth itself. We have Operation Mindcrime. Fantastic album. One of my favorite metal albums ever. Just a great heavy metal rock opera, basically. Then here, my final Queensrÿche album, my own, and that's Empire. Solid album. Alright, next, to finish out the cues, we have Quiet Riot, with, of course, their big album, Mental Health. Then we finally enter the R's. So first up, we have a couple Radiohead. Here is The Bends. Then, of course, you have OK Computer. Very interesting stuff. Radiohead's definitely a band I want to spend more time with. Now we have some Rainbow, or Ritchie Blackmore's Rainbow. We have the debut. And then we have, of course, Rainbow with Rising. Has the epic Stargazer on it. And the other songs on here are also fantastic. Of course, Tear It Woman, Starstruck, A Light in the Black. A lot of great stuff. Probably has some of Ritchie Blackmore's best guitar playing, and of course has some of Ronnie James Dio's best vocals. Alright, then skipping one album, we have Down to Earth, the only album with Graham Bonnet on vocals, and this is a pretty underrated album. I know there's people who are like, it's Ronnie James Dio or die, but there's some great stuff on here. I really enjoy All Night Long, Eyes of the World, Making Love, and of course Astor has a cover with Since You've Been Gone, and Lost in Hollywood's a great closing song. Then we have some Joe Lynn Turner era Rainbow. We have Straight Between the Eyes. Some great stuff, very solid. And then we have Bent Out of Shape. Alright, and then we go to some Ramones. This is Road to Ruin. There we go. Here's Rats, Out of the Cellar. Okay, now we have some Lou Reed. Here, of course, is Transformer, one of my favorites. Then we have Berlin. Basically a concept album based on a song from his first solo album, which I don't own. But kind of interesting, he expanded the story on that one. And it's pretty depressing, not gonna lie. Then we have Coney Island Baby. Another really good album. Then the last Lou Reed album I have is New York. Okay, we have some REM. Here is Out of Time. Then, of course, here we have Automatic for the People. Alright, some Renaissance. Here is Ashes Are Burning. And my current favorite, Turn of the Cards, which I do have a vinyl copy as well. REO Speedwagon's up next. Here is, I'm going to screw up. You can tune a piano, but you can't tune a fish. Funny. Then we have High Infidelity. I don't have any of the early stuff for REO Speedwagon. I really need to fix that. And the last REO Speedwagon I have is Wheels Are Turning, which of course has Can't Fight This Feeling Anymore. Then here's some Lionel Richie. Here's my only album I have, and that of course is Can't Slow Down. Then here's the Greatest Hits. These ones are okay. 20th Century Masters, they're decent. They're way better than the playlist Greatest Hits. Here we have another compilation, another gold compilation. We have the Righteous Brothers. 2 CDs, pretty much has everything you ever need of the Righteous Brothers. Alright, some kind of country pop sort of sound. We have Leanne Rimes with her Greatest Hits. Probably my favorite song of hers is How Do I Live? Okay, now we have Lee Ritenour. This is a collection. And if you don't know, I didn't know, but apparently he's a jazz guitarist. He's kind of more of the easy listening type of jazz. It's not the very complex or very experimental side. It's kind of more like something like Kenny G, only instead of clarinets or whatever he uses, it's a guitar. So yeah, it's not too harsh on the ears. It's very pleasant sounding. I like it. Okay, and then we're going to close out this episode with some Rolling Stones. We're not going to get to all of them in this episode, but probably continue them in the episode 7. Okay, so my earliest Rolling Stones album I own is Aftermath. And by the way, pretty much all these are going to be US versions, because that's easier to get. Here's Beggar's Banquet. My favorite of the 60s for the Rolling Stones, and that of course is Let It Bleed, which I own an original pressing on. An original vinyl, just to be specific if I hadn't said that already. And here we have my favorite Rolling Stones album ever, and that of course is Sticky Fingers. And to close out today, we have of course Exile on Main Street. So there we have it. That is episode 6 done. So in the comments below, let me know what was your favorite album in this entire batch here. And I'll see you in episode 7. So thank you again for watching. If you enjoyed this, please give the video a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and goodbye for now.